Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Ehsan, and in today's video we're going to solve another IELTS reading test. It is better for you to have this book in front of you, IELTS 13, the academic version, and we're going to solve from test 2 reading passage 3, which is the difficult ones typically. It's better for you to have a pencil and take notes while watching this video, and turn off any distractor such as your cell phones to have your full concentration. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to solve this kind of problems, and it's better for you to have a smile on your face and feel relaxed. But before we get started, if you're new here, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and also the notification bell, so whenever I upload a new video you'll be aware of it. Let's jump into it. As usual, I'm gonna split the screen into two halves. On the left hand side you can see the passage, and on the right hand side you can see the questions relating to this passage. Reading passage 3, making the most of trends. This is the title of the passage. Experts from Harvard Business School give advice to managers. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at the questions. Question 27 till 31. It's multiple choice questions, which is the most difficult ones in the first paragraph, but the address is clear. The first part, the writer says the most managers what? According to the third paragraph, this is about third paragraph, and what coach was anxious about. What point is made about Tesco's greener living program? I'm just highlight the keywords, then after that I'm gonna choose how to start answering these questions. What does the writer suggest about Nike's strategy? What was original about the ME2? So these are the most difficult questions to start with. 32 to 37. Look at the following statements, question 32 to 37, and the list of companies below. These are the companies: ABCD, Coach, Tesco, Nike, iToys, and here it says that you may use any letter more than once, so you have to be careful with this statement. Okay, and for 32 to 37 you just choose A, B, C, or D, and the answer and the questions are not in the same order. And finally 38 to 40, here it says complete each sentence with the correct ending A, B, C, or D below. Write the correct letter in boxes 38 to 40 on your answer sheet relating to these three questions. Okay, this is really a hard passage to answer, and there is no sentence completion to start with, so I'm going to choose another technique for this passage. I'm going to start with the passage and moving forward from one paragraph to another. Okay, and in this way somehow I can answer the questions. But before that, these are the keywords are highlighted: first paragraph, third paragraph, Tesco, Nike, and ME2. And how about these questions? I'm gonna highlight the keywords. It turned the but the most obvious ones, just the most obvious one. It turned the notion that its products could have harmful effects to its own advantage. And be careful, they always try to paraphrase these keywords. It extended its offering by collaborating with another manufacturer. It implemented an incentive or encouraging scheme to demonstrate its corporate social responsibility. It discovered that customers had a positive attitude towards dealing with difficult circumstances. It responded to a growing lifestyle trend in an unrelated product sector. it successfully avoided having to charge its customers less. Charge less for its core products. Charge less. Okay, these are the keywords. Now, in each and every paragraph, I'm going to use these questions. For example, for the first paragraph, probably at the end of the paragraph, I can talk about the answer for this question. But when I was reading it, maybe I can find some of these keywords relating to these questions. This is the strategy that we can use it here. Okay, so here it says that most managers can identify the measure of the day. Let me just I already seen most managers. Yes, here it says that the writer says that most managers, what? Something relating to most managers can identify the measure of the day, but in the course of conducting research in a number of industries and working directly with companies, we have discovered that managers often fail to recognize the less obvious but profound ways these are influencing consumers' aspirations, attitudes, and behaviors. So, fail to recognize. This is really obvious language for here. For example, here it says that fail to spot the key consumer trends. No, fail to recognize the less obvious but profound ways. Make the mistake of focusing only on the principal consumer trends. No. Misinterpret market research data relating to current consumer trends. No. Are unaware of the significant impact that trends have on consumers' lives. Unaware, fail to recognize of the significant impact, profound ways are influencing consumers' aspirations, attitudes, and behavior. These are consumers' lives. This is completely a paraphrase one. So the right answer for this question is number D. Is the option D is the right answer. Okay. I'm just choose this option in here. So this is the right answer in here. Option D is the right answer. Okay. For 27, I had to write D. So for question 20, just let me check on these keywords. Did you see anything about harmful effects? Collaborating with another manufacturer? No. Incentive scheme? No. Difficult circumstances? No. Unrelated product? No. Charging less? No. So moving on to the next paragraph, paragraph 2. 28 is about third paragraph, so nothing in here. So for paragraph 2, I'm going to check on these keywords. I'm going to read it and check on these keywords. Many ignored trends in their innovation strategies or adapt a wait-and-see approach and let competitors take the lead. At a minimum, such responses mean missed profit opportunities. At the extreme, they something I almost forgot it. In these questions, the most important keywords are not in 32 to 37. You had to pick up these companies' names. Where are these? Coach, Tesco, Nike, IELTS. Just you can quickly find these. Coach, here, Coach. Here, Tesco. And here is Nike. ME2, remember that, ME2. IELTS. So these are relating to these questions as well. So nothing is in paragraph 2. You couldn't see anything in paragraph 2, so you can skip this paragraph. Nothing relating to this paragraph. because I already told you question 28, it's about third paragraph. Be careful about that. So, coach was anxious about what? And I think it's better to answer this at the end, and in here we can focus on coach. Okay, one strategy known as infuse and augment is to design a product or service that retains most of the attributes and functions of existing products in the category but adds others that address the needs and desires unleashed by a major trend. A case in point is the Poppy range of handbags which the firm Coach created in response to the economic downturn of 2008. The Coach brand had been a symbol of opulence and luxury for nearly 70 years, and the most obvious reaction of the downturn would have been to lower prices. So the most obvious reaction of the downturn would have been to lower prices. So we could say that Coach was somehow anxious about these. Okay, it's not completely obvious, but the cheapening the price was somehow an important one. And I don't know, maybe something in here about this. Just look at the keywords in here. Harmful effects, no. Collaborating with another manufacturer, no. You have to go on these keywords to somehow review them for yourself, to memorize it better. Incentive scheme, no. Difficult circumstances, no. Unrelated product, charge less. Maybe something related to charge less. I don't know. However, these are really important vocabulary. You had to notice them. However, that would have risked cheapening the brand's image. So this is something that he actually anxious about it. Risk the brand's image. So question 28. Here it said that Coach was anxious to follow that some of its competitors were doing. No. Maintain its prices throughout its range. No. Safeguard its reputation as a manufacturer of luxury goods. This is the right answer. Why this is the right answer? Because here safeguard its reputation, it's about cheapening the brand's image. So he somehow wants to save his brand image. Okay, save its reputation. It's a complete paraphrasing. I'm gonna highlight it change the color of the answers into blue for you to find it easier. So how about these keywords? Instead, they initiated a consumer research project which revealed that customers were eager to lift themselves and the country out of tough times. Tough times. Does it ring a bell? Tough times. Tough times means difficult circumstances. But here, the complete. It discovered that customers had a positive attitude towards dealing with difficult circumstances. So, customers were eager to lift themselves and the country out of tough times. So, which means that has a positive attitude for difficult circumstances or tough times. This is the complete and the obvious paraphrase. So, 35, the answer is A, relating to Coach. The company named Coach. So, Using these insights, Coach launched the lower priced puppy handbags, which were in vibrant colors and looked more youthful and playful than conventional Coach products. Creating the sub-brand allowed Coach to avert an across-the-board price cut. In contrast, important language to notice, in contrast. While, however, in contrast, but, these are really important. Want to show the opposite. In contrast to the many companies that responded to the recession by cutting prices, Coach saw the new consumer mindset as an opportunity for innovation and renewal. As an opportunity for innovation. So, innovation where we can find it in here, where it is here it says something about the cutting prices, which means what? Which means charge less. You see, charge less. It successfully avoided. Here it said in contrast, means avoided, to the many companies that responded to the recession by cutting prices. Coach saw the new consumer mindset as an opportunity for innovation and renewal. So it successfully avoided having to charge its customers less for its core product. So 37 is going to be A, Coach. Another, which one? I think this is one of the most difficult ones, but this is here, the answer is A. So moving forward to the next paragraph, and remember that you have question 29 to answer. What point is made about Tesco's greener living program? So a further example of this strategy was supermarket. Tesco's response to consumers' growing concerns about the environment. With that in mind, Tesco, one of the world's top 5 retailers, introduced its Greener Living program, which demonstrates the company's commitment to protecting the environment by involving consumers in ways that produce tangible results. For example, Tesco customers can accumulate points for such activities as reusing bags, recycling cans and printer cartridges, and buying home insulation materials. Here it says something about social responsibility, corporate social responsibility, and he said it implemented an incentive scheme to demonstrate its corporate social responsibility, something about the environment. So maybe something related to this. Let me just finish the paragraph. Like points earned on regular purchases, these green points can be redeemed for cash. Tesco has not abandoned its traditional retail offerings, but augmented its business with these innovations. Thereby infusing its value proposition with a green stake. So Tesco has not abandoned its traditional retail offerings. Let me just look at the question 29 first. What point is made about Tesco's Greener Living program? It did not require Tesco to modify its core business activities. It succeeded in attracting a more eco-conscious. No. Its main aim was to raise consumers' awareness of environmental issues. No, not this one. It was not the first time that Tesco had implemented such an initiative. No, there is no mention of first time. And Here there is nothing about the aim of this to be the awareness of environmental issues, but here it says that Tesco has not abandoned its traditional retail offerings but augmented its business with these innovations. So it did not require Tesco to modify its core business activity. This is the paraphrase of this one. So A is the right answer for question 29. But again, this is somehow a difficult one. And remember that this is passage 3. So it's obvious that this is the most difficult ones. And how about these questions? Which one relating to Tesco? B. Tesco. Can you find anything related to this? I think when it says that concerns about the environment, or here these are some examples. Tesco customers can accumulate points for such activities as reusing bags, recycling cans and printer cartridges, and buying home insulation materials. These are relating to social responsibility. For 34, the answer is B, Tesco. So now moving on to the next paragraph about Nike. And what is the question? The question here says that, what does the writer suggest about Nike's strategy? And here are the questions left in here. Unrelated product, collaborating with another manufacturer, or harmful effects. Just these three. So a more radical strategy is combine and transcend. This entails combining aspects of the product's existing value proposition with attributes addressing changes arising from a trend to create a novel experience, one that may land the company in an entirely new market space. At first glance, spending resources to incorporate elements of a seemingly irrelevant trend. Irrelevant trend. Here it says that unrelated product sector into one's core offering sounds like it's hardly worthwhile. So I think this is 36. The answer for 36 is Nike. So here the answer is C, the paraphrase. Just check the paraphrase. Unrelated product, irrelevant trend. So, but, important word in here, but. Consider Nike's move to integrate the digital revolution into its reputation for high-performance athletic footwear. In 2006, they teamed up with technology company Apple. They teamed up with technology company Apple, collaborating with another manufacturer. You see, this is the answer is C. And if you really don't have enough time, for 32 you just write D, because it's completely obvious that just we have left with D. But I'm going to show you the answer. How about the question 30? What does the writer suggest about Nike's strategy? Let me just finish it. A digital sports kit comprising the sensor that attaches to the running shoe and a wireless receiver that connects to the user's iPod. By combining Nike's original value proposition for amateur athletes with one for digital consumers, the Nike Plus sports kit and web interface moved the company from a focus on athletic apparel to a new plane of engagement with its customers. So, how we can answer this question? Suggestion of the writer. Actually here it says that, I know this is again a one. Here it says that at first glance, spending resources to incorporate elements of a seemingly irrelevant trend into one's core offerings sounds like it's hardly worthwhile. It's hardly worthwhile. It was an extremely risky strategy at the time. At the time. So for question 30, it was an extremely risky strategy at the time. Let me just look at another options. It was a strategy that only a major company could afford to follow. No, this is not the answer. It was the type of a strategy that would not have been possible in the past. No, this is not the answer. And how about D? It was the kind of a strategy which might appear, you see, which might appear to have few obvious benefits. This is a difficult one to answer between A and D. Maybe lots of students choose A. But here it says that might appear, because here it says at first glance hardly worthwhile. So D is the right answer. So be careful with question 30 as well. So question 31, and moving forward to the next paragraph. A third approach, known as counteract and reaffirm, involves developing products or services that stress the values traditionally associated with the category in ways that allow consumers to oppose or at least temporarily escape from the aspects of trends they view as undesirable. Here we're looking for harmful effects. And this is the first undesirable to look at. A product that accomplished this is the ME2, a video game created by Canada's iToys. By reaffirming the toy category's association with physical play, the ME2 counteracted some of the widely perceived negative impacts. You see, harmful effects, negative impacts. This is the obvious one to answer, of digital gaming devices. So here the answer is D for 32. We complete this type of questions. We have left with this one and the three last questions. So here it says that, like other handheld games, the device featured a host of existing interactive games, a full-color LCD screen, and advanced 3D graphics. What set it apart was that it incorporated the traditional physical component of children's play. It contained a pedometer which tracked and awarded points for physical activity: walking, running, biking, skateboarding, climbing stairs. The child could use the points to enhance various virtual skills needed for the video game. The ME2, introduced in mid-2008, catered to kids' huge desire to play video games while countering the negatives, such as associations with lack of exercise and obesity. So here it says that it contained technology that had been developed for the sports industry. No, it appealed to young people. There is nothing about young people. It took advantage of a current trend for video games with colorful 3D graphics. It was a handheld game that addressed people's concern about unhealthy lifestyles. You see the paraphrase: unhealthy lifestyles, lack of exercise, and obesity. This is the paraphrase one. So here is the right answer for this question. Option D is the right answer for question 31. Now we have just left with these three questions. Okay, questions 38 till 40. And this is interesting because we have already used these paragraphs for answering these questions. We'll just not use this paragraph and the last ones. Okay, so probably the answer for these questions is in here. Here it says that if there are any trend related changes impacting on your category, you should. You see, the language is about you. It's really important to notice in here, you. And here it says that once you have gained perspective. So the answer lies in here. Once you have gained perspective on how trend-related changes in consumer opinions and behaviors impact on your category, you can determine which of your 3 innovation strategies to pursue. So, here it says trend-related changes. And trend-related changes. You see here, impacting on your category. You should what? You can determine which of your 3 innovation strategies to pursue. Employ a combination of strategies to maintain your consumer base. Identify the most appropriate innovation strategy to you. So here the answer is B for this question. Determine which of you 3 innovation strategies to pursue. So the answer is B. If a current trend highlights a negative aspect of your category, you should what? If the consumer's new focus has an increasing lack of connection with your offering. Looking for this. When your category's basic value proposition continues to be meaningful for consumers influenced by the trend, the infuse and augment strategy will allow you to reinvigorate the category. Nothing is there. If analysis reveals an increasing disparity between your category and consumers' new focus. So here, how we can find the paraphrase of this one? Here it said increasing lack of connection with your offering. You see, they change the order to make it difficult. Your innovations need to transcend the category to integrate the 2 words. Transcend the category to integrate the 2 words. Which one? Let me just cross out B. Emphasize your brand's traditional values with the counteract and affirm. Use the combine and transcend strategy to integrate the 2 words. So here the answer is D. Completely obvious, kind of a simple ones to answer, but they changed the order. This really makes it difficult to answer. So here, finally, it aspects of the category clash with undesired outcomes. You see, negative impacts, undesired outcomes of a trend, such as associations with unhealthy lifestyles. And let me just cross out this one as well. There is an opportunity to counteract those changes by reaffirming the core values of your here it says I already emphasize your brand's traditional values with counteract and affirm strategy. Or yes, of course, emphasize your brand's traditional values, because here it says that association there is an opportunity to counteract those changes by reaffirming the core values of your category. So here for 39 the answer is option C. Okay guys, this is really a difficult one to answer, and there is really not much of a technique that I can offer you for these questions. Only if you try to read a lot and make a lot of speed in your reading, and of course this is about reading comprehension. You had to understand phrases, sentences in your reading to answer it. And this is what I can offer you. I hope you like it. If that's the case, please give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and also share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.